gotta love those potatoes, brother. Go back and play COD Ghost back when skill-based matchmaking wasn't really a thing. You could just see, man. You could see how them guys were playing, man. Sometimes back in the day, playing Ghost, it wasn't all the time. It was always sweaty. But once in a while, you get a potato lobby like that, and you could just spank them. I just thought it was a funny clip. I don't know why I didn't see the fourth guy. I should have cleaned them all up for a quad feed or, a 4-on, whatever you want to call it. But like I said, I saw it was a funny clip, so I throw it in there. But anyways, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy StereoRifles tuning in on the microphone. If you're new to the channel, smack that like button and subscribe down below. Always appreciate it, man. Now let's get right into it. So, as you know, I dropped the last two videos were kind of me talking about me just having my personal struggles with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. As you know, it's a sweat fest with the matchmaking system. And quite frankly, that system is quite intelligent and crazy. Like I said in my previous commentary, it blows my mind, man. But something I did want to do, I kind of got to do. I wanted to do like a big free-for-all with me and a bunch of other TSG homies, YouTube content creators, and, put it out on our channels. Thought it'd be a lot of fun. But it did get close to that. Me and my boy JB hooked up the other night, and right off the bat, I guess he came, I don't know if it was because of my idea or what, but he came up with the idea. He invited a bunch of people into the lobby, like 11 people, and it was a lot of fun. They're all better than me, I think, except for one guy, but all of them were a 1.8, a 2.5, a 3. They were beasts. And suffice to say, we did like 3 private matches with a TDM, and I got my ass spanked, bro. I mean, I was going like 5 and 15, like just getting wrecked. Didn't help the first match we were playing on Backlot, and I've only played that map, excuse me, a handful of times on Modern Warfare Remastered, so I had a little bit of familiarity with it, but not a lot. But once we got on, I think we did Candor Hideout and something else, and it was a little better. Not much, but it was a little better because obviously I knew the map. And then we got into some lobbies and all, and I did okay running with them. Obviously they're a strong team, but you're going to be going up against strong teams as well. I even told them, I said that private match to me felt like a game battle or something, or an MLG scrim. Like, it was just that sweaty. I was like, Jesus. And I gotta tell you, man, it was quite humbling, and I actually enjoyed it though. And what it made me do, like I said, especially after what I was talking about on my previous commentaries, is just I kind of went back and I said, I want to be able to step up my game, man. I'm a better COD player than this. You know what I mean? I feel like, first off, Treyarch games have kind of spoiled me, if you will. The 3-lane design, the fast pace. The last couple of Call of Duties kind of spoiled us in that sense. I mean, World War II had a few weird maps, but overall, you kind of got stuck into a niche these past few years. I mean, even Black Ops 3 still had heavy 3-lane design, good streaks, and there's ways to get your streaks, like kinetic armor. There's ways to get specialist abilities to help you get your streaks, etc., etc. And like everybody else, except for some of the elite players like JB and all his buddies, and the pros and all the big content creator pub stompers that have adapted, a lot of us haven't. A lot of us are having our personal struggles with it, like I said, myself. And I decided to do some soul searching. So what I did that night, I think we played Friday night. So this past Saturday, I got on a private match with veteran bots for like over 2 hours. And I changed look sensitivities, ADS sensitivities. I tried messing with classes. And I got to tell you what, by the way, before I go on, that gunsmith is essential. You've got to, something I regret not doing in the past 6 months since this game has been out is literally getting into a private match and experimenting with these classes, experimenting with different attachments in this gunsmith for each gun you're using, at least your main guns. Because that's what I did. I mean, I made a nice M4 class. I experimented with stocks, grips. Actually, I love the iron sight picture on that gun, so I didn't put any optics on it. But as an example of something that I discovered, for one thing, I've never been a suppressor guy, but almost every gun I have now is got a suppressor on it. Obviously, it keeps you off the minimap, especially if there's a UAV up. It's harder to hear. And in this game, if you want to compete well, you got to put a suppressor on your gun, man. At least that's my personal opinion. So I ran one suppressor. I can't remember. I think it was called the tactical suppressor. No, maybe. And it did okay. I feel like the recoil on it was a little weird, right? I was like, well, let me try the monolithic. This is on the M4, by the way. And I think I thought it was gonna be like, you know what I mean, tomato, tomato, you know what I mean, green apples versus red apples. But I tell you what, I put that monolithic on there, boy, and I was like, damn, this thing is sweet. I don't know if it lessens recoil just a little bit, maybe gives you a little better sprint out time overall. Like it fit me like a glove. I made this class and it fit me like a glove. Also, I made another MP5 class. I totally redid my attachments. And one thing I did do that I've never done on the MP5, because I like the sight picture on that gun as well. I can't remember the optic, but it's a circular optic with a red dot on it or a blue dot, maybe a 1.5 magnification. And I tell you what, I feel like I'm a laser beam with it now. So between adjusting like I said, I experiment with look sensitivity, ADS sensitivity, my classes. And I actually wrote a couple things down for myself. This is one thing that's battled me for years. It's a bad habit I get into. You guys might know what I'm talking about, you might not. For one thing, I think one of my problems that I have, a bad habit I tend to get into, especially if I'm getting pissed off, I overuse the right thumbstick and I oversteer the stick, you know, so it makes my aim a little sloppy. Instead, if I'm thinking correctly and actually remember to do this, is to definitely put more emphasis on using the left thumbstick instead. Obviously, because when you're strafing left and right, for one thing, you're activating the aim assist. It's going to help you win gunfights. It's going to be harder for them to hit you. And sometimes you are on target. You're like right in the chest where you need to be, or maybe a touch lower. And you don't need, you know, if you're good at controlling recoil, which I am pretty good at. I'm not like 100% god at it, but I'm pretty good at it. You don't need to overwork that thumbstick, that right thumbstick. The trick is to work that left thumbstick instead. Let that be your micro correction. And when I remember to do that, I usually have pretty good games, like a pretty good match. But the problem is, if I start getting pissed off or not, it just goes out the window. And that's another thing I practiced, was trying to remember, exaggerate using your left thumbstick over your right. So that was one thing I wrote down. 2, mount your gun whenever you can. I know I've said in my previous video, I said I'm proud, I'm stubborn, like I try not to do the cheesy things. Like, you know, the contextual mounting that they have in this game, like they did in Ghost. But in this game, obviously, it gives you a huge recoil buff. And a lot of people take advantage of it. And that's part of holding angles in this game. That's just the meta. That's just how it is. And I've been fighting it for 6 months. I said, you know what? All these other tryhard sweats are doing it. I'm going to do it. And I wrote that down, just a little post-it note for myself. Mount the gun whenever you can. It's going to give you a huge advantage. I know it sounds stupid, but like I said, I've just been too proud to do it. I'm like, I'm not doing that cheesy shit. That's for noobs, man. But I'm like, if the sweats are doing it, why am I not doing it? And finally, it's something I've told myself before, and you just tend to forget, especially with frustration and just being burnt out on the game. But I was watching another one of JB's friends live stream the other day, and one of the guys I played with that night jumped in, and I was like, you know, hey, yo, what's up, man? And I was like thanks for, you know, having me in there. I was like, I appreciated, you know, playing against you guys, because it makes me work so hard and all that, and it's just frustrating to not be able to step up and all that. And he's like, and the guy streaming was getting all pissed off and raging, which I do all the time on my streams. You know, that's definitely, you know, 100%. But he said something to him that, it's such an obvious thing, but he said, you know, stay calm, man. It's just a damn video game. Don't get upset. I was like, you know, that's so prolific. Like, he's right. It's something you think about, but then you just, when you're in game, when the heat is on, when you're in the heat of the moment, you don't think about it. But I did that too. So while practicing, and then when I got some gameplay after that. By the way, this gameplay in the background, I go 28-4, cooking on these bitches, using all the things I've been talking about, got me this gameplay. And I've got some decent gameplays afterwards. It's still a sweat fest. I still get into some lobbies. I actually have one gameplay I've recorded. I feel like I was playing Search and Destroy. That's how campy it was. Nobody wanted to move. I just want to put that on the channel just to see, just so you guys get a day in the life of my lobbies that I get from time to time. But yeah, man, to not stay mad, always focus on using that left thumbstick when you're in a gunfight. You know what? You know, instead of overcorrecting with the right stick. That's a bad habit of mine. It definitely is. If I remember to actually correct my aim with the left thumbstick instead, because you're already on aim, you know, I win a lot more gunfights. Like I said, mount the gun. And just stay calm, don't get pissed off. And I know that's hard at times, but keep it a cool attitude and just give it a, you know, a silent GG to the guy who just killed you. Like, you know, he just outplayed you. Whether he was camping or not, he still outplayed you. But like I said, I did that soul searching Saturday. I think I played with JB that night, and I had a couple decent games with them guys. I'm playing with JB and his sweaty sweat lobbies, and I was still dropping like a 15-5. We're playing like domination. Like, I know that's not great gameplay, but it's still a 3 KD. I'm not going 15-25. I'm not going. We played domination on shipment that night. I went 57-50. Again, it's not a super great KD. I know that, but I still dropped 57 kills. I went positive against a bunch of sweats because I'm implementing all these things that I've been talking about, man. And that's basically some advice I'm giving to my subscribers that maybe might be having the same problem as me, just being stuck in your old ways from playing Black Ops 3, World War II, Black Ops 4, all these 3-lane design maps with normal footsteps, dead silence, all the these things we're so accustomed to for so long now. Even Infinite Warfare didn't have that problem, like a footstep problem. None of these games had this. They really didn't. Even when I was playing COD Ghost for that clip the other day, I'm not even running dead silence anymore. If it was the first year it came out, I guarantee it would be, because I can tell you it's very easy to sound horn in that game. But for some reason, it's just easier to traverse the map in that game. You know what I mean? Match after match, and that comes down to the map design, honestly. Call of Duty Ghost did have some wonky maps. They were nothing like Modern Warfare 2019 maps, so maybe that's the difference. But yeah, man, 28-4, nice little gameplay. I think I get 2 VTOLs. Like I said, cooking on these bitches. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up, guys. Let me know down in the comment section what you think. If you appreciate what I'm telling you, or, you agree with something I'm saying, or if there's something I haven't even figured out yet. Some advice you could give me if you're a higher KD player, you're a sweat. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up, guys, man. Just a little food for thought, as usual, on the channel. And I'll just see you on the next one. Take it easy.